and rolling. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the all-new TTown 411 Report, our community conversations, Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV, and Sound Booth YouTube channel. We're live with them also. We're live from Kinster Banquet Hall, located at 5480 Jug Factory Road here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's a special place for special people for all special occasions. We're also broadcasting live with my good friend Mike from Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV. Mike, tell them how can they sound in on Sound Booth Radio and Sound Booth TV.
Sure thing, Daryl. To check us out on the radio. Download the Live 365 app. Once you download that Live 365 app, type in the search bar Sound Booth Radio 106.1. That'll get you on with us on the radio side of Sound Booth Radio. That'll check us out on the video side. Just go to YouTube, type in Sound Booth Radio 106.1, and that'll get you on with us on YouTube.
Well, Mike, each and every week we always bring up these community conversations right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and I just want to thank you and your staff for being a part of this program each and every week right here on the TTown 411 Report as well as Sound Booth Radio. I'm going to get ready to share this. We want to make sure we share it to our other channels and other things. We also have our good friend Veronica Taylor on with us. Veronica, go ahead, talk to us. Or maybe she's getting the COVID update together. Yeah, we'll wait on the COVID update. But I tell you why we do this. I want to make sure we share this.
Hey there, I was about to send it. I wasn't sure if I was on or if I was. I don't know, for some reason it doesn't. The notification don't come right through. It's like it did when we used to go live. It would come straight through.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a second. It takes I still don't have it.
Yeah, it's sometime, and now I don't know what the deal is with that. It's just, I guess we have to ask everybody to share.
Okay, yeah, because I'm in our community. Okay, y'all gonna hear for a second. I'm gonna put the report in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna click off of it.
Okay, but I'm seeing everybody, and everything seems to be on good. I think here's the COVID update. I appreciate it.
Okay, I see it on your page, but just not our community conversations. I don't see it yet.
I'm on here. I'm looking at it.
Maybe it's I don't know why it's taking a while.
It's gonna take a couple of seconds because of a lot of destinations we have going to it.
That might be.
Well, so y'all been on like 3 minutes, and last week it took like a minute, and it was okay. Right now, the most recent thing I'm seeing, I'm trying to scroll through. No, sometimes the older ones are on top, but right now I don't see it at all in the group, just on Daryl's page.
It's on community. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
If you scroll back all the way to and refresh your screen, it should be on by now.
That's what I'm saying. It's not. Believe me, I went through all it. That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's not there. I'm gonna wait. Last week it took it about 3 minutes, but I'm good. I see it on Daryl's, just not on the group.
I'm looking at it from the group.
Okay, let me click back over and look again.
Yeah, I want to say to everybody that's chiming in, we want to thank you all in the.
As long as somebody, is the rest of everybody else can see. Okay, now it's on here.
Okay.
I don't know why it takes a while when it.
I think the many destinations, like Mike said, it might slow it down a little bit because he's putting it to YouTube, his other two channels and mine also. But we want to thank everybody for chiming in. This is a very interesting conversation we're going to talk about tonight. But let me go ahead and get the COVID update. And y'all, COVID still exists. Let me just say this: COVID still exists. I personally know, family member, my daughter, she was fighting this weekend. I tell you. She was fighting this weekend. We had to take her to get the IV and all kinds of stuff. I tell you, we were doing a little praying this past weekend. So COVID still exists, and she's vaccinated. So we're saying um, you still can catch it by being vaccinated. But Lord knows, thank you for being vaccinated. That hey, her body was able to fight it off. She's coming back around. She's feeling better. Even her 1 year old baby that tested positive, but I we weren't sure about the baby because the baby was like very active, very active, and so we were glad, that the baby was very active. So COVID do exist still. As of May the
Yeah,
11th.
people, you can't. I don't know. I'm praying for her there. I'm glad that she's okay. She's received the IV. She's been okay since receiving the medication.
Yes, she did the antibiotics and then had to go back and do it again. I guess that's what they did. But Sunday wasn't a good day. Saturday was, they didn't admit her to the hospital, but it was a fight there for a minute. It was. I tell people it was a strong indication that hey, this is a real true case of COVID kicking in right here. And I've talked to people that say I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I heard several people say I wouldn't. Ooh, that's a feeling you don't want. You don't want. And
Yeah,
when
I
you.
heard the same thing too, Darren. I also think that another thing is the fact that we look at the COVID numbers at DCH and they're so low
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that people tend to forget that COVID is still out there and that it's still other variants that we got to look out for. I'm seeing more and more people actually walk around without their mask on nowadays.
And
More and more.
I'm guilty.
Uh,
I'm guilty, but I think I'm in large numbers. I think I will start back wearing my mask. My brother's still wearing his. He said he take no chance. But anyway,
I
just.
literally had a doctor to say, "Oh, that's just that this area, the numbers are so low in this area," and that was just that liberal lies. When he said that, I said, "Okay, I'm gonna have to reconsider this relationship because now that lets me know you made this about politics and you're a
Mm,
doctor." And of course, we in the South, so I know a lot of them made it about politics. You got some of them who aren't in the South who have made it about politics, but the numbers are low, but they said that they won't start reporting five or less until they don't have any.
mm,
So you have to be careful. You have to protect yourself. And people sometimes tend to be so worried about what somebody else think about them wearing their mask.
right.
Don't worry about what somebody else think. They don't care about what you think about the things they do. Because if they did, they would care more about not wearing a mask.
That's true.
A lot of people are really people, even adults, they tend to always fall into what somebody else thinks. If you don't feel comfortable with that mask off, then keep your mask on.
yeah, I still wear mine.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, it becomes second nature to me. I pick up my glasses and my mask at the same time, and they go on at the same time as soon as I walk out the door. So um, it's a habit that you had to form, but I think that once you form that habit, it's just like when you put on that seatbelt in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, when they first told us you had to start wearing seatbelts, well, he had some pushback, but then now majority of the people actually put their seatbelt on as soon as they crank up their car or as soon as they get in their car. It's a fluid motion. It's click the seatbelt, and that could be the same thing with the face mask.
Well, let me interrupt you right quick and let's go to our regular routine and pray for everybody and everything and read the COVID update. The COVID update as of the 11th, which today is the 17th.
So
Yeah, they haven't updated since for some reason they're slow about updating it. The last one was days behind.
Okay. No inpatient positive with COVID-19 on the 11th. No inpatient with positive with COVID-19 on ventilators. There were 5 or fewer patients with COVID in the DCA system that were positive for COVID-19. So, fair use copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. If you will, just bow your heads wherever you are and join us for a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to come through these airways, through this podcast, to share valuable information among our families and friends. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ. We want to thank you for all the people, for all what you do, all you've done, and all you will do, Heavenly Father. We believe it. We confess with our mind, with our mouth, believe in our mind and our heart that your Son, Jesus Christ, died on the cross. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for going and continue to bless all our doctors and nurses, all our essential workers, all the hospital staff, all the nursing home staff. We want to thank you for watching over them. We ask that you can go into the hospitals and continue to heal the healers. Heavenly Father, we ask that you continue to watch over all the people in the nursing homes. Right now, Heavenly Father, I want to pray for the people that's in jail right now. Let them know that we're thinking about them, that we're praying for them, that whatever their problems might be, we asking that you do away with those drug problems, do away with those criminal activities, do away with whatever they've done, Heavenly God. We're asking for forgiveness for them right now. Heavenly Father, we ask that you continue to watch over our families, continue to look over our pastors as they continue to preach the gospel throughout the communities. Look out for all our government officials, from the president all the way down to the city councils. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name, we pray, amen.
Amen.
Once again, I have to continue to pray. I just believe, I believe in the power of prayer, regardless of what's going on in this world and the things we're talking about tonight. We just got to continue to pray. Our conversation tonight, we're talking about, of course, this is mental health. May is the month of Mental Health Awareness Month. Our guests were not able to be with us. One of them had to go out of town, and another one is at work and wasn't sure she was going to be able to tune in with us. But we got enough to talk about with the mass shootings that's going on in Buffalo, New York. What was it, Texas, where the church was shooting, and right here in Tuscaloosa alone. And do we think mental health playing a part in all of these shootings that's going on? Tell you what, while we give people a chance to absorb all this, notify all your families and friends, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and let's talk about what's going on in Buffalo, New York, okay?
Sound good.
All right, thanks.
Hello? Hey, Rick. I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother? I went down to Thomas' Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie. And I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh, all I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
For over 27 years here in Tuscaloosa, Catfish Heaven has been pleasing our taste buds with their delicious catfish, pan trout, hot wings, coleslaw, hush puppies, and don't forget about those made-to-order French fries. Whether it's your snack time, lunchtime, or dinner time, give the guys a call over at Catfish Heaven at 205-752-7222, or you can make your order online at catfishheaventuscaloosa.com. So head on over to Catfish Heaven at 2502 21st Street. See you there.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, LJ Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.
Get out, get everybody go outside. Here we go, everybody line up. Everybody outside. City Friday night, oh, going down again. Oh, you girl, yeah, until the rain. City Friday night, this Friday night, it's going down again. Fly, fly, fly. Scoochie, huh? I drink till I'm drunk.
Fellas, head on down to New Generation Barber Shop, right off of 2600 McFarland Boulevard East, Suite C. Go ahead and get you a fly cut from my boy Fred Brown. You can hit him up at 205-292-4995. Also Sam Brown at 205-722-8506. And how can I forget about my boy Amp the Barber? Hit him up at 205-561-7473. Check him out, y'all.
Pick, I might as well, hell, drop the top and take a selfie, my country.
You shopping at a goddamn number 2 pencil.
We're back. Want to go ahead and make a few announcements. We want to remind everybody that June 18th, a Tuscaloosa branch of the NAACP will be having a community celebration. It'll be a Juneteenth parade and community cookout Saturday, June 18th, 2022, right here in Tuscaloosa, starting at 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Palmo Park. Free food and entertainment. And believe me, this is going to be a great event that's going to take place right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So mark your calendar. I'm not going to spoil. I understand this might going to be some great entertainment coming. So I'm not going to spoil the message yet. So just say the date. It's a great thing coming up. Don't forget, on Tuesday, May 24th, it is election time. And there's a candidate, Mr. Curtis Travis. He was on our program on last Thursday. And he's running for Alabama House District 72. And he's asking for your vote. And this is paid for by the committee to elect Curtis Travis, House District 72, 620, Haymaker Lane, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So we just want to make sure people understand that he's working. He's wanting to get elected, and remember that name, Curtis Travis. Let's see. Oh, this Sunday, May 22nd. This is something you don't want to miss. Believe me, I'm not sure if Ms. Van Horn is going to be able to call in today or not. But this Sunday, May 22nd, Mental Health and the Whole Self, a program that's being put on by Ms. Jennifer Van Horn, is taking place at Skyland Elementary from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. I intend to be there 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. this Sunday. Please come out, listen, get some valuable resources, valuable information. And from my understanding, she's going to make an announcement for the first time for something that's happening in Tuscaloosa. So please come out and be a part of this Sunday, May 22nd, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Skyland Elementary, right on Skyland Boulevard, right next to Carvin's Auto Sale, right here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I want to say hello to my good friend Daniel Van Horn, Derek Goodman, Honest Drippin saying something is going on at the Lark. I'm not familiar with that. Brenna Wells, Sarah Stanton, Denise Albritton, how you doing? Dion Washington, how you doing? And of course, all the other people that's joined the program. Fanny Spencer, and all the others that's on the program with us. Everyone should have. Oh, most important, this weekend we got a whole lot of things going on this weekend. This weekend, May 21st, Freeman Park, Stop the Violence rally is taking place this coming Saturday, 12 noon to 4 p.m. Come out, listen to some valuable speakers, come out and be a part of this event. We want to stop the violence right here in Tuscaloosa. You know, they say it starts at home. And I'm going to leave this flyer up for a moment while we talk. I got Veronica on the phone with me, as well as Mike Wilson with 106.1 here on the program. You know, we're talking about Mental Health Awareness Month. We're talking about mass shootings that are taking place all over the country. We have shootings at nail salons, beauty shops, churches, now a grocery store, and a swimming pool. Because, see, I'm not leaving Tuscaloosa out of this mass shooting situation because guess what? Even though we only had one infant that was struck, we got 4 people that's charged with multiple attempted murder charges. And guess what, y'all? Once again, 17 to 19 years of age. Is mental health playing a part? Is mental health playing a big part of all these mass shootings and the gun violence that's taking place right here in Tuscaloosa? Not to mention the young man from Buffalo. Y'all take over. Mike, what you got to say?
And it's very disappointing because you can't, it's everywhere. That complex has never had that many cars, police cars right there. And I passed by there and I said, whoa, yellow tape?
Yes.
Something's going on. When I saw yellow tape, I'm like, over here? It's mostly college students. This just lets you know the whole situation, just everything. You got people coming to areas where they really never live. And I mean, people have a right to be where they want to live. But it's usually students over there or older adult professors or something that come in and fly in to teach part time, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But when those apartments get empty, they will let anybody move up over there.
Let me take this
And
call.
I don't know if they lived over there, if they just came in there.
Hold on one second. Okay, we got Jess on the phone with us. Hey, we got mass shootings taking place everywhere. How you doing, Jesse? Talk to me.
Hey, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Hey, what's up, Jesse? All right, gentlemen, sisters. Yes. So I imagine we back in this mass shooting situation around here again.
It's everywhere, Jesse. It's not just you know.
Right, and like 4 people, all of them like all of them are under 20, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then this I never seen them and those in cars and that much tape around that particular complex.
Let me ask this.
Okay.
Is it coincidental that all the mass shootings are in states where it's pretty difficult to get a firearm? In most cases,
Lately, I don't think.
Is it difficult to get a firearm?
That's what I'm about to say right now. I don't think it's not difficult.
The laws are a lot more difficult, especially up north, in California and places like that. The laws are real tough, and the process is a lot more strenuous. I know, especially up in New York.
Yes.
So, yes.
I agree with you. New York was one of those places that, you don't want to get caught with a gun. Because you used to see, rappers and artists or whoever might have been caught with weapons and drugs, and you hear nothing else about them anymore for a good little while. But,
that's like you hear every bullet at one point. I know. It's supposed to be strict like that, but that incident in Buffalo, I don't know how that exactly went, but I know he drove 200 miles to that grocery store. He staked it out. Now he's only 18 years of age. He staked out that grocery store the day before, and then he went in He went in dressed as a homeless person, and he went in at a certain time of day when he knew there's going to be multiple people of color there. Yeah. Also, he went live with it. That's audacity.
When did he go in as a homeless person? Because that joker was suited up with tactical gear on.
Yeah, he had tactical gear on, but he went in the day before, like a homeless person, asking.
Oh, that's when he was scoping. Yeah, I'm gonna say because the day of he was strapped up.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Now, the thing was, they said people were shooting back at him. So you had some people that had their weapons and they were shooting back at him. Yeah, he had body armor on. He wasn't feeling any fear, which also begs the question is, if you got body armor on and you're not feeling like nothing when people shooting bullets at you because you feel invincible, why do some of our police officers feel that way and they wear body armor every day? But that's a whole different story. That's a whole deal. That's a whole different story. The fact that immediately after he did, and of course, the one thing that stood out was you shoot somebody white and they walk up and they beg for their life and he walks up and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he said, "My bad." My bad, yeah. And then the black people right around another aisle, he guns a couple other people. Yeah, he stood over them and shoot them down. Black people. But
Well, they have basically said there is no question. There should be no such thing as being investigated as. The proof is there. Every which way you turn, there should be a case of has to be investigated as. They know, and I will give it to them. A lot of the people that spoke, the officials, said this is a hate crime. They wasn't all that, the usual rhetoric of, well, we have to see what the manifesto states it. He states it. The conversation states it. The witnesses states it.
How in the world did he get that far when he was posting all these things? I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, these social medias, they shut you down when you say the wrong curse word. You can't even say, use the other, the derogatory term for gay. You can't use that F word. If that comes across your post, they're gonna shut you down.
Right.
They shut people down for having a regular conversation.
They shut us down because we say the wrong person out. So, once again, that's neither here nor there at this particular moment in time. But
what been going on around here with the shutdowns?
We want people to join the conversation.
I got a lot. My personal opinion on gun laws. I mean, I don't see that happening when you have a society that are all carrying guns. I don't see that happening. And I'm not saying once again, don't get it wrong. I mean, what do you guys think? Everybody have the right to carry their arms. I agree with you, Jesse, in the aspect of, but what I was trying to say about this guy walking through that supermarket shooting at people with his body armor on, and people were shooting back at him. Well, actually, he said it was just a store security guard.
Yes.
An old guy.
Yeah, he was.
It wasn't like people. It was just this one old guy that really deterred him.
Well, he was. I think he was hired by this store, and he was a retired police officer.
Yes.
And he was
He was on duty. But I can say that, truthfully, how many of the people who actually got firearms know how to use their firearms?
Yeah, actually, honestly and truly, this show is like 4 shows. We have one, the shootings that are going on. Okay, mass shootings, they've been going on. That's one whole show by itself.
Mm-hmm.
At the racist component of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can put those two together. The racist mass shootings that are going on. Because there have been 3 racist ones in the past few days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's one show. You have another show where you have this conservative media perpetuating this replacement theory that we've been naming it all along. They're just afraid of becoming a minority. Mm-hmm. That's a show. They immediately started saying, the people who are covering this saying, okay, Congress had the same book that he's looking at passing around in Congress, probably around January the 6th, around that particular time. Mm-hmm. The book was up there. The book was being passed around by all of those all of those people during that particular time. So that's one. Then a third one was show with the little. I don't know if it's a little boy or a little girl, but they had to be airlifted
Right.
to children's.
Right. We got multiple
And
stories.
then still the rest of the stuff. That's like 4 or 5.
Yeah. We got four different conversations that could go for weeks. Because mental health, from my understanding, mental health is playing a part of of the 18-year-old shooter. From my understanding, is that's going to be an excuse for him, mental health.
And then that's my problem with that. I don't think that everything is as simple as a mental health thing like that. It's quick to be a mental health issue. When they came and got him. Once again, he was taken without incident, wasn't roughed up, wasn't shot at, wasn't nothing. They put him in the car easily. He was, Mike.
I forgot y'all the fifth show, the gun laws, because they conflicted with mental health as they usually do.
Right.
But when you look up a different persuasion, such as us, you have a 10-year-old child who commits a crime who has autism, and they should know better. A 10-year-old child has a mind to know better.
There's nothing wrong with his psyche when he knows and he come out that door, he's gonna get lit up.
But we still have to deal with the fact that they're not dealing with it.
Yeah, but what he chose to do was aim the rifle up under his neck, like he's gonna commit suicide. And he wasn't gonna commit suicide. No, he just put himself in a position to hold off the officers from shooting him. So he walked out that door. He had that gun up to himself as if he's gonna commit suicide.
But Justin, were they going to anyway? But they weren't going to.
That's true. If they had been a black person, they would have let him up regardless of whether or not he was gonna shoot himself or not.
He was standing there, clothes were not disheveled, shirt barely lifted up. He was standing there, one cop put his head down like he was just disappointed, but disappointed why? That you called him or what? Look at the number, the age of the people that he killed. He didn't go nowhere where he seen a whole bunch of young melanated folks, which a mass shooter will go anywhere, but why would you choose to go to this grocery store and then all these people out 35, 67, 85, 75?
All helpless, vulnerable. That's what you look for. Like when you go to a grocery store, you're looking to buy groceries. You're not looking to, and they tell it, well, you need to go to the grocery store. You need to know your exit plan when you go. I have never ever went to a grocery store saying, well, this is my exit strategy when I get up out of here. Like I'm not supposed to be living in a hostile territory where I got to find exit strategies everywhere I go.
Right.
You go to a grocery store, you go in to buy groceries. The only thing that you're supposed to be worried about is the price of some chicken wine or some eggs. Well, that goes to show how times change, Mike, because that's what we have to look going there with the mindset of now, an exit strategy, or go in there armed yourself, which is primarily. So what about somebody like me? Because I'm visually impaired. So if I go in the grocery store, should I have a weapon too? I mean, what am I going to be shooting at? I'm going to be shooting at where I heard the bullets coming from. All I'm saying, maybe on your circumstance it may not make sense, but for others that are entering, this is where America is at.
But it comes to your safety.
But I'm saying though, what about for people who can't carry a firearm or who what I'm saying? You got fellas who ain't supposed to have a firearm. Right. They supposed to be allowed to go to the store too, and they need to be feeling protected. But hopefully those that are in the store that have the right state of mind will help defend off for those people that are in the store. That's all I can say. But the fact of the matter is, America is not America 20 years ago. We all know that. Oh, absolutely not. We can't think the same way we used to. We can't be footloose and carefree, footloose and fancy free around here. We can't be that way anymore. White supremacy It's not allowing it. And remember, back in 2016, the Jews would not replace us. Remember this now. Remember that chant. So they worried about being replaced. But apparently back then it was the Jews. But here it is, they shoot black people. So tell me what it really is.
And black people are not even black people are not the even race that's honestly replacing them.
They worried about the Jews.
They worried about that border as well. But he went in there. They just let you know what they think of black people.
That's right.
Because they even know that the brownness was replacing them numerically. But he went in there aiming for black people. So they'd rather keep fighting with the folks at the border, even though they're the ones who are truly replacing or becoming I won't even say replacing. They're the ones who the numbers are growing exponentially higher than theirs.
It's a majority issue. It's always been political.
It's always a majority issue, and they're even saying it now, but they started the replacement theory. They're throwing that term around. That's what we've been saying. What we've been saying.
And that's why they're trying to shut down abortion. Because the majority.
Oh, we done ran up and down that all for 3, 4, 5 weeks. We know. And that's what it's called. It's population. They're trying to control population.
Right. I bet it was. We have Lisa Young on the line with us.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey,
how you doing?
All right. I agree with Veronica. I've said it 1,000 times. When you look at immigration, when you look at abortion laws, when you look at certain sentencing for certain sexual acts, you can tell that there's a push, there's an agenda to control the population. America is browning up, and I think that some people are afraid that some of the same atrocities that they bestowed on other races, they'll be on the receiving end. And you know, it's sad because when we had 2 Asians were attacked, 2, right? And they passed the Asian hate bill in record time. We still can't get a bill protecting Black Americans passed, and there is no other people in America that have been abused and traumatized and harassed, terrorized more than the Blacks.
But let me say this.
And then they down talking when we mention it.
Let me say this. Louis Farrakhan has spoke on that. And he said the very thing that he said to this white lady in the audience. He said, the problem with you white folks is that you're afraid that we will bestow upon you the atrocities that you have bestowed upon us. That is the fear in white folks, and with us gaining numbers, you know. So they're in panic mode right now. They're preaching. Fox News is just taking it to another level, you know. And that attack on January 6th was just the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. You know, they are not going to stop. But we got to pay attention. We got to stay woke. But like I said, Farrakhan, I'm not even a huge Farrakhan, but I listen to some things they say. He said this years ago.
Yes, he did.
I was gonna say, we know it. It's been out. It's been out. That's what it is. And they in panic mode now. Well, they've been in panic mode, but this last idiot, he increased it, and now it's to the point where they're blunt with it. They expect you to accept it openly. It used to be behind closed doors with them. It used to be, they were always saying in 20 whatever, the population will become majority Black and brown. They've been saying this for years, and now years have been flying, and it's almost that time. They are panicking, and they are afraid that if the numbers become reversed or win, because they will still become minority, because not only does this Black and brown, you got white people having Black kids. Those kids are Black. So that either which way they look, they feeling like they outnumbered. What can we do? Well, let's get this Roe versus Wade overturned. And what do we do now? Well, the shooter goes in. We gotta handle what kids love, because he's meeting the agenda what they want anyway. The book that this young man read has been floating around Congress since before January 6th, and that's why most of the men up there in Congress now on the conservative side, they come out making speeches looking like Hitler's children. They so mad and angry. What you mad and angry about? Because if you watch history, black people are not you. We are not you. Minority or majority, we do not inflict the pains and illness and the angst on people the way that you do. We don't do it.
When you look at crime in America, most crimes are going to be, when you talk about crimes against people,
they're going to look like each other.
They're going to be perpetrated on the perpetrator's race.
Exactly, they're going to look like each other. They're going to look like each other.
It's interracial. And so, you know, this whole fear that they have peddled for so long that, you know, blacks were savages and our men were gonna rape their women and you know, it's now what we're seeing are their children reacting to all of this hate that they've instilled. And you know, like I was watching a report and I had to turn it off because they said that, and I'm not even gonna call him that monster that went into that store, drove 2 hours and went into that store. He shot a white man. When the man turned around and he realized he was white, he apologized and said, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
You know,
they didn't call him a monster at all. Actually, the first thing they said was it was a mental health issue. And like I said, if he hadn't been a black man you don't really see a whole lot of black people that do mass shootings. Just saying. But if it had been a black man that was doing the mass shooting like that, the first thing that would have been said would have been he was a monster.
Well, the most recent one, they called him a monster. Even our people were on there calling him monsters on media and news. Everybody called him a monster.
But the powers that be, a lot of people don't want to call him a monster. They try to say that he needed some mental health, and they furthermore tried to go with their situation by saying that, hey, you know, last year they had to pull him out of school because he was talking about shooting up the school. Hey, that's a red flag to me. Because I can't go up in there and tell them I'm going to shoot up the school right now. I don't think I'll be at school. They said they kept him out of school for 2 days.
My thing is, they call that man a monster, and they treat this dude with kids' gloves. That's all we heard about that guy. He's a monster. What monster would do this? What's monster? But this young man, he's a kid. He's 18. It's always with them. Just like when they're college kids, 21, 22, do the stupid things. Well, he's a kid. But you get a 15-year-old young black male, he's a threat to society.
Well, there also was, I don't know if y'all saw the viral video where the little boy went and knocked on this African American couple door with a whip. He beat on the door with a whip. And did not flinch when the lady opened the door and asked him and told him to get off the porch. I mean, he did not flinch.
I thought he didn't move.
They called the police. Now, you know, had that been me, I would not have opened the door and asked him to get off my porch. I just wouldn't have done that. But the father, the husband, when he got home, tried to go and talk to the father and ended up getting shot at. And the police had to come and arrest him, but in a subsequent interview, the couple said that when the police came out initially, the little boy actually came outside and was cracking the whip in the street right in front of the police. So and they downplayed this young boy's behavior, and all I see is a monster in the making.
Who sees law enforcement as his friend? Who sees law enforcement as one who's not going to harm him?
What you just said carries a whole lot of weight, Veronica, because in our community right now, our young people see law enforcement as enemy. They don't feel like they there to protect you. They don't feel like they there for them at all. And if you and just using our town, for instance, if you go across the water in certain other neighborhoods, oh, they feel like the police are their buddies. I ain't saying that about all police officers. I'm just saying that's how the people in the predominantly black neighborhoods feel about police officers right now. I've heard it. I heard people say, man, them folks ain't for us. In other words, black people feel as though law enforcement is there to keep them where they at.
And the sad part is it doesn't matter what the law enforcement looks like.
Yeah.
That's the saddest part.
And I gotta ask, Darryl, what do you think about that? I think Darryl might have stepped away. But okay, but seriously, why is it that they feel this way and you expected that law enforcement is going to be able to change the things that's going on in our communities when the respect factor for law enforcement is at all-time low?
Well, that's only in our communities.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna venture to say that we need to be more vigilant about banding together and demanding equal rights. So many times we bicker amongst ourselves. We lose sight of the bigger picture. And we've talked about this before, how certain groups how certain communities, how we can be kind of cliquish. We don't support some if a certain person brings something up, then it doesn't get the same support. Even though the cause may benefit everybody.
That's right. Want to say hello to Tina Sanders who just joined the line. Who just joined the chat, I should say. Tina, if you want to give us a call, 205-310-6067. Get you on with us right here on TTown 411.
Right. Lisa, that's so right. And I didn't cut you off, Mike. Sometimes when so much stuff going on, you have to just think of something, say what you got to say. That is a big issue. They observe and monitor us, and they see where we dislike each other, where we hate each other. They see where the wedges are. They see why the wedges are there. And even on this show, sometimes we're on a course, and it becomes redirected. The things we talk about, there's millions of things that could be better. But when we're talking about particular issues, we need to focus on those issues, come together with differing opinions, but not attacking and not over talking. Different opinions, and even when we're talking, that's passion, that's one thing, but to over talk and downplay and degrade is another. And we come together and, like you always say, collaborate, Lisa, a collaborative effort. Different opinions are what's going to bring a solution. You just got to be able to be open to listen to them and to share them and to push them forward.
I think you're quite right, Veronica. One thing that we have gotten so far away from doing with each other is listening to each other's opinion. A lot of times we're actually on this show talking about different ways of doing things, and we tend to shoot each other down extremely quick. Like, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna, and it gets disheartening, and then you get people that's like, well, forget it then. Especially when you can't get your whole entire thought out, it frustrates people. It frustrates people to no end. They like, well, shoot, I can't even get my thought out. Y'all already shoot me down. Well, I just keep my stuff to myself. And and at this point, you don't get anything done at all. Period. That's not necessarily where we want to be at.
Right. And questioning each other. Question so much. Let's see what we do together instead of questioning what each person is doing. Because the truth be told, everybody around here knows about what's pretty much going on around here. And you may come from different walks of life, but we still have the same goal. What can we do to stop or curtail some of the issues that we have, bad issues going on? That's the goal.
It exactly is like when you have people that say that don't nobody want to do, I don't think that at all, because I don't think that there's a person out there who wants to see 3-year-olds get shot. Who wants to see 10, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds get arrested for shooting somebody at that age and basically throwing their whole entire life away because of that. No one wants to see that. Nobody wants to see their kids do that. No one wants to see other kids do that at all. I don't think that at all. I don't feel that at all. And I feel like that's and this is just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. It could be somebody who loves it. But I don't think that that's the case. And I don't think that these kids go out every day looking and say, I'm finna go shoot somebody. I truthfully don't think that's the case either. So
I don't think so.
At some point, we got to talk to each other. We say everything starts at home, and that is true. But we also got to go ahead and have that community again. We got to have that village mentality that we used to have. And I know a lot of oh, that's old school stuff. It ain't gonna do. It ain't gonna. I don't see why the village mentality wouldn't work. It worked for thousands of years. Everywhere else.
Well, I'm all
Because
for
like I say, it's so much stuff. We got about 5 or 6 shows right now. Mental health, the gun laws, and why when it comes to these men, 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse nut crosses state lines, don't have to worry about a permit. And then you got states like ours who should be focusing on greater issues around here telling people they don't have to have a permit. You know, and we had, I don't know if y'all know, but we had about several governors meeting in Tuscaloosa this past, what was it, a week ago, I guess, talking about that. And I was surprised with some of the, I'm not governors, but mayors of the cities of Alabama, the major cities. And not all of them agree with what the governor and our legislatures and Montgomery have done. And not all all the police departments and sheriff departments don't agree with it.
Yeah, we know that. Hey, we got Tina Sanders on the line with us. Hey, Tina, how you doing?
Good. How y'all tonight?
Good, how you?
Tina, good to hear your voice. Glad you're okay. I know you was in that area of New York at one time.
I'm still here. I'm here.
You in Buffalo?
I'm here. I'm working, so it's terrible. It's awful sight. Just the families alone, it will just break you down. And unfortunately, I knew about 7 of the victims. So it's trying times right now.
Yes, and the one lady from Fayette, Alabama, the elder lady, the coward in him to target these older people. She was one from Fayette, Alabama. There were a lot of people know, and then the fact that they were older, and it's just saddening. It's just saddening. And one of them had even worked with legislators to was a civil rights activist.
Yes, this store is like a community store. Like, say, the Piggly Wiggly on the west side. Everybody can walk to it. It's convenient in a great location. Um, all the seniors, this is their store. You got mostly teenagers that work there other than the ones that's been there. But, you know, it was like really that's who goes to this store, seniors. So there was a few young people in there. It's a place you go cash checks in there and pay your bills. So that's where you cross some of your younger crowd at. A good friend of mine was in line cashing his check, and man came in shooting, missed him. He took off running. The man actually chased him off to the store. But as he was chasing him, he was shooting people as he chased him.
Tina, kind of give us a vision of how this is affecting the Buffalo community in that area. Is this particular area like Tuscaloosa to Northport? Kind of give us an idea of what kind of.
Yeah, it's a great effect. I mean, when I say everybody's hurting, Everybody's traumatized. Everybody is, because we're such a family like, you know, especially when you work in the community. Like Commissioner Whitfield, mother, 86 years old, was in the store, just left the nursing home from seeing her husband routine she do every day. You know what I'm saying? So when you know these people, it's hurting. Everybody's hurting. It's not any dry eyes, whether you know them or not. Um, this area is a predominant black area, and this guy had been here the day before, walked through the store, and they even said to one of the workers, which was a white worker, "Why you work here?" They had asked him to leave the day before. He left out and went outside and sat on one of the benches outside and was just talking to people. He had went to a church, a predominant black church, a few days, had him on surveillance there. So he had been planning this since January.
So
And he wrote a whole 180 page of what all he was going to do.
That's why the mental health illness, as far as he's concerned, should be out the window.
Right, but he said in his paperwork that he has no mental health.
Of course, even his class said he was a smart student.
Yeah, he had finished up his high school last year. Oh yeah, all day, all day. So we all are affected. Yeah.
And maybe it's just me, but my question is, people that have done some of the biggest mass shootings against the African American community, they are always taken in and they're always treated so humane, so humanely. Um, the young man in I use that loosely, who shot in the church. They
South,
sent her team to get him a sandwich.
South
Before they
Carolina.
went to jail. Where did they take him? This guy in Buffalo, where did they take him?
He didn't go anywhere. How about that?
Okay.
He didn't go anywhere to eat, and you know, a lot of people sit wondering why he didn't get shot up when they went into the vestibule of the store. The boy had on iron armor. That's why when the police officer shot him, it just flipped off. It didn't even penetrate. He was covered in iron gear from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. So he knew what he came to do. But he used to walk around school in fatigues and army gear and that type of stuff. So, he knew what his plan was from the jump. And, so, everybody said they should have shot him and shit this, but we would have had more casualties because he would have killed every cop that was in that vestibule.
Do we know whether or not he was part of?
They said that he was shot and it didn't penetrate. And I was like, wow. At this point, like Lisa said earlier, these seats have been placed in them and it's growing him. And I was about to say he had some help, but at that age he had access to it. They have access to whatever they want.
Oh yeah, because
the bullet didn't penetrate.
The gun he had modified it.
Is that not a federal offense to modify?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But see, you can go over to Pennsylvania, and that's something that we have been talking about the guns coming into New York State. They're coming in through Pennsylvania and Cleveland. That's where they're coming from, and you can get them for pennies.
And I've heard people in Pennsylvania say that.
Yeah, so
I've heard people in Pennsylvania say that.
Yeah, and the part of New York State that he lived it on, he was on that end, the other end of Pennsylvania than the end we're on. So he could, like say, go to Northport. That's how close he was to Pennsylvania. So unfortunately, it's going to make a lot of changes in New York State. A lot of changes. The president was here today. A lot of governors, and it's just plain blank. Nobody's going for no mental illness in the state with this guy. It's not going down. No. And our assemblyman, Crystal People Stokes, made it very clear. And she called out all the DAs, everybody that held the position, and in the press conference and said, "Do y'all hear what I'm saying?"
Good.
Is that the death penalty allowed in that state?
People get the death penalty through the federal,
The
not
federal,
through
right?
New York
Because
State.
New York, he won't get it, right? And that's what they were talking about. But they said, but he's committed federal crimes, and nobody's really talking about if. There's so much, and it is. They can't even say it that way. The officials didn't even speak as if it's like if. They know. They know the manifesto, the witnesses, the things he said. They know. Right. So federal will be picking it up, and that is the only because under the state.
They already have. Pretty much.
There was premeditation, and then he actually seemed like he kind of stopped out the place.
Mm-hmm.
He did. He had he knew the place better than the workers. He really did. And he had been here days, and he had mapped out the route, where he was going to go to Target. He had everything mapped out of what he was going to do that day. He had his time frame down. He said, once I get to Target, they should be caught up with me by then.
But you gotta remember, Dylan Ruth did the same thing. He went to that church before, the day or so before.
Yeah.
He did the same thing. Went to that church the day or so before. This young man went before.
How traumatizing it was. I can remember after one mass shooting, it was summertime and somebody was in the store here with a coat on. And I remember grabbing my son and literally running out of the store and having a panic attack sitting in the car. And my son was like, "Mama, what you do that for?" And I'm like, I'm overreacting, but I'm like,
you just don't know.
I'm thinking, why you in the store?
It's like Jesse said earlier, know where the routes are, know which doors will open. I'm sometimes tempted, y'all, when they say exit only emergency, I'm sometimes tempted to push that door and see if it'll work. I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
I'm sometimes tempted to, when we're in these stores, I'm sometimes tempted to push those doors to see if they work. Because you're even a Walmart, you don't know where to run. You know to run away from the noise, but you don't know exactly where you would hide.
I went to a training, FBI training, and it was an active shooter training. Mm-hmm. And now they're telling people, first of all, if you can get away, get away. Right. But in certain situations, you are almost better off trying to fight. And they're telling us, like what you can use for a weapon. And I'm like, what can you use for a weapon? And he was like, you got weapons all around you, but the way we've been conditioned to think, we think that it's got to be a knife, a gun. We don't think about a book, a belt, a paperweight, a chair, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they say even when somebody gonna get killed, if enough people attack, then everybody gonna get killed.
Right.
Right. And that's how they did that guy in California. They all attacked him in that church. Mm-hmm. But they only had one casualty.
Mm-hmm. Mm. And that's something we got to think about. I think more and more, we're going to have to start preparing our communities more and more for mass shootings and schools being attacked, church being attacked. It's we got lax before COVID. A lot of churches did away with security because we were doing virtual church services. But we got to get back to what we were before COVID because those ideas are still existing. So we got to get back. Yeah. We got lax because of COVID because we weren't going. But we got to get back to that same mentality we had before COVID.
And part of our training by us working in the community, we had to do all those trainings in the malls, in the schools, that was required that we do that dealing with the community. So because some of the team patrols the mall, and then we have people inside the school. We have people on the corner where schools get out because here kids use public transportation as far as the high schools go. The elementary schools is on the buses, but here high school kids use public transportation, which is free. That's included, and they get a pass in school between such and such hours. There's no good like after 6 o'clock or something like that to give them time to get home. But it's really needed in everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Just for so much safety with the stuff that we have going on today.
Right here in Tuscaloosa on yesterday, we had a shooting at the apartment complex. I'm not sure if you heard about that one or not.
I did.
And a 3-year-old was victim of the situation, and I just think right now there's no place that we can say is safe no more. The church,
But
even in your own home.
My question is, Daryl, sorry for cutting you off.
No problem.
When is enough gonna be enough? Like, when is the people gonna actually grandstand in Tuscaloosa? Like, when is enough gonna be enough? Because you can have your shows, people can talk, they can yell, they can say stuff on Facebook. But when is enough?
You know
what I'm saying? Am I making sense?
I understand. And Tina, I think the first step is this coming Saturday. I really do. The vision that Miss Deborah Miner had of taking the initiative to even think of a rally, a stop the violence rally, is the first step. And this shouldn't be the last thing, but it's the first step. And I applaud her for that. And when you get back, um, what we're saying is it's got to be more action than talking. But and we don't need it ain't my idea, so I'm not going to support kind of mentality. So it's going to have to be a group effort. It has to be a group effort of everybody attempting to do anything. What came to mind after this came to mind to me. Hey, maybe it's a chance to once again try another gun buyback. Once again, I know people hate to say, "Oh, ain't nobody gonna sell their gun back. Ain't nobody." Everybody's well, until we try it, we don't know. We collected 94 guns a couple years ago. The churches and organization 501 and the police department, they all chipped in enough money to buy guns back from this community. And 94 guns were collected. And one gun came, and here it sticks in my mind. The guy and the girl drove up. They said, no questions asked, right? Of course, everybody said, no questions asked. They turned in a Uzi style, chopper style gun. So everybody, all the officers looking at each other saying, well, it's possible a couple bodies is on this gun. But we said no questions asked. They received their money and they drove off and was gone. So that was
we do it here too.
So, we just gotta continue any kind of efforts we can, no matter how big, how small. I just think we just gotta continue to do different things over and over and over and over and over until we get it. We ain't gonna never get it right. And I'm gonna say this, and please don't dog me. Y'all, things ain't gonna get any better right now. Okay? We just I agree with our pastors, our religious leaders, that we need to continue to pray, but we gotta also continue to at least try the effort of prevention.
Absolutely.
Prevention.
You can't just pray without working with it.
Right.
So I mean, with that being said, also there, we got the Start the Violence Rally coming up on the 21st this Saturday. And then of course, the Tuscaloosa chapter of the NAACP is putting on a Juneteenth
Yes.
celebration. Also, and of course, we do have Ms. Lisa Young on the phone, so she can let us know more about the preparation for that.
Well, we want to make it a community event. Of course, this is for the community. Thursday, June 16th, we have a financial literacy and home buying seminar. We've already got people starting to register for that. We put the information out there. It's on the Tuscaloosa NAACP Facebook page, the link to register. We have real estate brokers, we have bankers, we have uh, people trained in financial literacy. We have home builders, we have realtors, we have insurance agents. People need to come out, and if you're interested in buying a home, if you have questions, and I tell people all the time, ain't no dumb, and there aren't any dumb questions. You need to be knowledgeable when you're trying to buy a house, so that you don't make mistakes. One of the biggest purchases you're going to make in your lifetime is going to be your home. Mm-hmm. Mistakes can be very costly when you're talking about a house. I have people all the time ask me, do I need a home inspection? Of course you need a home inspection. You pay that money up front so you don't have to pay it later. So that's that day. That's going to be at the McDonough Hughes Center. That Friday, June 17th, we have the youth and senior forum. Of course, we always talk about youth, but we forget about, we have two vulnerable populations in our community. It's the seniors, and we're going to provide them with information. We're going to have people to come out and talk to the youth. And just give them some tips about being productive in their society. Try to offer them some internships, and if anybody have any summer jobs that they want to offer the youth, please reach out to us and let us know. We would love to have you come. That Saturday, which is June 18th, we're having a parade and we're having a community cookout. Everybody that needs to come out. This is free to the public. We want everybody to come out and have a good time. We have food and entertainment. And then we're going to have a really nice time. Then that Sunday is Father's Day. And so we thought it was best to allow families to be together. But that Monday, June 20th, will be our Juneteenth luncheon. And we'll have some living legends in Tuscaloosa. We want you to come out and enjoy that. Now that you will pay to attend that, and that information will be made available as well. So we're planning like events for everybody in the community. If you can't attend everything, pick out something that's of interest and try to support this. This is something that we want to do yearly. We want to grow it. I know that we have a lot of young people that don't remember what City Fest was like in Tuscaloosa. It is our vision that we grow a Juneteenth celebration into something that the city celebrates the way we did with City Fest.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great event. A long, perfect weekend. And hey, I just encourage the community to come out and be a part of it. You did mention the fact on Saturday you have the State Senator Bobby Singleton and AJ McCampbell will be doing the cooking.
On that grill. They'll be on that grill.
So, and this is free. This is
free.
That particular event is free. We want people to come out, be a part of it. It's a
We're
lot.
gonna have a tent set up. We're gonna also you're not registered to vote. We want you to come out and get registered to vote. If you want to join the NAACP, we're gonna have a table set up for that. We're gonna have vendors out there. So, like Daryl said, this is free. This is free food. We're gonna have entertainment out there. We're reaching out to some bands and performers. So it's gonna be a really nice weekend. I'm really excited.
Well, we appreciate Lisa. I appreciate you and the NAACP, the local organization here in Tuscaloosa, the local chapter. I know you stay busy. I didn't know if you. I didn't know if you knew what you were getting your hands into when you when you took over the position. But it's good to see the NAACP more involved. I mean, not saying it wasn't involved prior to your leadership, but I see more and more events, more and more people now involved with it, and I think that's a great thing.
Well, our membership is growing. Um, um, we're trying. Oh, and let me also announce that our general body meeting is going to be next Monday at 6 o'clock. Members, we're going to have State Representative Chris England. He's going to talk about the new constitutional carry law and the new marijuana ordinance. People need to, if you don't know, you need to come and find out exactly what do those laws entail.
A lot of times, and I'll just put it this way, Lisa, and a lot of time when you have means of that importance, with technology the way it is now, could we suggest that even though um, you know someone stream it Facebook Live, I mean, or I know Mondays is you got people so much involved with school and after school programs, and I do baseball with the kids, things like that. I would love to at least see or hear the questions or the answers to some of those things. If they would, that would be great. If they could just stream it, but people could go back and look at it or something of that nature. If you would mention that, because I don't know how you keep up with all these meetings you go to.
Well, I will say this: there was a lot of things that I had to let go.
Okay.
I've always been one to want to give back to my community, and I don't know. I say it all the time. I love Tuscaloosa.
Mm-hmm.
I can go. I don't care where I am. I want to come back home. Tuscaloosa is my speed.
Mm-hmm.
But there were some things that I had to let go because I had truly overextended myself. And so I had to examine the work that I'm doing or the things that I'm pulling myself to. Am I making an impact? So I had to assess where can I make the greatest impact here. And so I know the NAACP, even I'm an advisor for the UANAACP. Steeling NAACP is up and running. And if you give me a minute, I'm going to have one down at Shelby State Community College as well.
Okay.
But there can be some high school units as well. And the one thing that I like the way Alabama NAACP is situated is we have a weekly meeting every Wednesday. And from that meeting, I'm just constantly like, oh, we can do that in Tuscaloosa. Oh, they did it there. We can do that in Tuscaloosa. We can do that in Tuscaloosa. So I know one thing that I would love to see is as our young people are graduating, we need to be very intentional about making sure that they are registered to vote. The same way we celebrate when somebody get their driver license, we need to be celebrating when they say, I'm a registered vote. And we just need to get back to where we're training and conditioning ourselves that our voting rights are that's our voice, right?
Mm-hmm.
When people tell me I contacted this elected official and they didn't do anything, well, you make sure you vote them out. You vote them out. You get somebody that represents your interest. If a person say that they represent your interest and you vote them in, and once they get in, they don't represent your interest, vote them out just like you vote them in. But then you have to be vocal and articulate to people your dissatisfaction with that person.
Okay.
So that's what you're gonna start seeing the NAACP set up in high schools, registering people out, and I even had enough nerve to sit up and think that maybe I should set up a booth at graduation and get
Perfect.
people registered to vote. It's just that important.
It is perfect opportunity. Perfect opportunity. Tina.
And a lot of times, people well, I'll join, but I can't do this. Or I'll join. You don't have to do everything. We have committees you can serve on. You can go and do like part of fundraising, or you can be legal redress, or you can have to do with economic development and opportunities. And then we have like that focus on mental illness and wellness. So all those committees are within the umbrella. So you just find the area that works for you and you focus on that. You don't have to do everything. And another thing, people ask me, well, I don't want nobody to know I'm a member of the NAACP. We never divulge who our membership is. I'll say that I'm a member. If you say you're a member of the NAACP, you told it. I'd never say that that person is a member of the NAACP. We have to go through training in order to be able to even access our membership portal. Back in the day, the membership list of the NAACP was a hit list for the Klan. So, if you want to join, you don't want everybody to know you're a member, that's fine too. I mean, if you just want to support us with a donation, that's fine as well. But people have to realize there's strength in numbers.
Mm.
If you show up in numbers, trust and believe you get the attention of the right people.
Well, we really appreciate you. I know we appreciate you. We had a few calls came in. I wasn't able to switch over if they would like to call back. I just want to say, Tina, you're on the battleground that took place just the other day, and you're seeing a live view of mass shooting and the effect on the communities. Uh, we asked the question again: is anywhere safe? I mean, you had the hate group that shot up the nail salon in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You had the shooting at South Carolina at the church. What his name? Doppler or whatever his name was. Now you have this shooting that took place in Buffalo, New York. 10 people dead.
What about like I had to remind somebody that they were talking about Vegas. We forgot about the mass shooting in Vegas at the concert.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Las Vegas, right there. Ooh, several people shot and killed.
We forgot all about that one.
So it's been several mass shootings that have taken place, and they're getting closer and closer to home. 5 people in hate court shot, just 2 weeks ago, if that long. Here yesterday, bullets flying everywhere, and by the grace of God, only the 3-year-old was shot, and no other people.
And that's so angering. That's so angering. Y'all, like I said, it's so many areas and issues. This whole conversation, the violence amongst these young people, young adults too, but these younger people, get like I said, under 20, and then right there on a major roadway.
Mm-hmm.
People going right out there. Apartment complex sits right near the street.
Yeah.
And it's
Restaurant.
like you can't say, oh, they don't do that over here anymore. They don't do that. It used to be all students over there. And then, of course, times getting to the point where even these apartment complexes are letting people live there that normally wouldn't live there, even the brand new ones. So it was like that was an issue one time. Why are all these apartment complexes? They don't have any tenants, can't maintain tenants, so they start accepting people that they weren't designed to have there. And like I said, people can live where they want to live. But some apartments, that's just like an assisted living. It's designed for elderly people or for people who retire and choose to live amongst a particular, neighborhood or a group of people. So when you have apartments that's designed for, so this is like Capstone Village, it's designed for a specific group of people. So I'm not saying that to discriminate against people, but what I'm saying is there were times where we thought, well, you could live in this complex and be pretty much safe. Or you could, an incident here or there. Now it's like everywhere you turn around. And we've talked about Hayes Court the past couple of weeks, but this place, who would have thought? So I don't know if they lived there or if they didn't, but it was quite a few of them to be over there facing it like they acting like they're the OK Corral.
Well, as it ventures further and further out and permeates into other areas of our city, we'll start seeing some real moves to address it.
And that's the bad part about it too, Lala, is the fact that you basically, it almost like we were sitting waiting for before things would get done, to help resolve the situation. I think that's gonna be a sad thing that it had waited till it got completed to a certain district or a certain neighborhood. And then next thing you know, now you got the full might of the city behind you. You got all the people behind you. We got to do something about this because this ain't what Tuscaloosa is about. And we allowed Tuscaloosa to get this way because we didn't say anything when it was happening in other neighborhoods. Tuscaloosa is Tuscaloosa. It ain't this part of Tuscaloosa. This part is just the crummy side of Tuscaloosa. It's supposed to be Tuscaloosa as a whole. It's supposed to, if you for your city, it's supposed to be for your city. Period.
Well, Bullets don't know zip code.
That's right.
Bullets, they don't know zip code. And as our police department struggles to replenish its ranks, you have fewer officers out there to address crime. So we continue to say that the problem is so faceted. You got a problem. We got a problem with our youth. That tells me we got a problem with our parenting. That means we got problems in our schools. That means we got problems in our churches. We got a problem with resources, the allocation of resources. We got a problem maintaining law enforcement, sufficient number of law enforcement. So everybody needs to be working and coming together. Like, how can we address this? What is needed? And everybody working on all parts. Like Mike said, it's sad because what we're doing is sitting and waiting for it to become real to everybody.
Once again, if you like to, we do have a caller on the line. Kyle Porter, if you'd like to join the conversation, go ahead, sir.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
All right, how you doing?
Under the circumstances, anyway. It's just a sad situation, and I've been saying it, and I really hate to continue to say it. As a people in the community, there's few of us, but a large percentage of us have taken the mindset of the auto industry. Auto industry won't do a recall on no vehicle until enough people are died. They'll do a recall then, no matter what auto company it is. They will not do a recall until enough people are died. We have that situation going on in Tuscaloosa. Enough parents, like you said just a minute ago, not enough schools, not enough people getting involved to curb and stop this situation from multiplying and growing into an even worse situation. They're not going to do it until they come up on their doorstep. When they come into their house, when somebody missing out of their family, that's when they're going to start opening their mouth up. Well, you should have been opening your mouth up before then. You should have been getting involved before then. It's gone out that we need people to step up and step in and get part and let's do something. But nobody is stepping up. Nobody want to do nothing until it's their child or their dad, mom, sister, uncle, brother, niece, or nephew. This is a family problem.
Well, I think this
And
Saturday,
these young kids, they're being highly neglected. If you look at a lot of black parents today, a lot of young black parents today, what do they give their 1-year-old to 5-year-old child to keep them from bothering them? They hand them TV. Yeah. They give them a phone. They give them a tablet. Why does a child need a tablet at 2 years old? Why does a child need a tablet at 1, 3, 4, or 5? Why you can't put a book in their hand? Why you can't read to them? Why you can't teach them to write? Why you can't teach them to spell? Why you can't teach them to read?
good point.
They throw something electronic in their hands so they won't be bothered with it. So as they grow up, what else they get thrown in their hand? A controller to a game console. And so there they are, buried in their room, till about 9, 10, maybe 12, 13.
Even older than that, Kai.
Yeah,
To be honest with you,
this guy older
when
than
you,
that.
when you get to the point
in the
where
house.
something like that guy who just shot up in Buffalo, it's a good possibility that he was talking to somebody on a video game. So that's how a lot of people interact nowadays. They beat people on the video games now.
To me, his idea came from that other young man that did that shooting up in Minnesota during those riots when he was came there, when he crossed state lines and shot 2 people.
If you'd like to join the conversation,
he crossed state lines and shot 10 people.
Right. We got a couple more people who want to join in. If you'd like to join the conversation, please call 310-6067-8267-661. I think that line is full. Mike, if your line can take on a couple more, they can call 310-6067 and join the conversation. We'd like Tony Knox and Bridget Nelson. How y'all doing? Thank y'all for joining.
I feel like people.
Okay.
I see what Shakar's statement from a little while ago. Well, it's been quite a while, maybe almost an hour ago. She says Attorney Ben Crump is asking for them to pass a bill that supports the prosecution for hate crimes against blacks. Now let's see where that goes, because I think that has been requested before.
Yeah, Obama.
So let's see where it goes. And see, a president requested, and where did it go? But then you put a few hate crimes against Asians, and it was passed immediately.
True.
It wasn't even a request by the president.
That's how the
You
Senate
don't need to see the same public outcry when something happened with blacks. If the victims are black the public outcry is not the same as it is with other races. And I'm wondering, like, to me, that's what, when you see somebody say all lives matter, that's what they're talking about. We can't even get equal sympathy.
Nope. Never have.
We're asking for too much. Whenever we ask for something, it's always too much.
I think that's part of the problem. I think that we have a lot of people who have the mindset now that they're gonna do what they want to do to us. Might as well just keep our head down and try not to cause no trouble. And that is that same mentality that our ancestors had when they was working on the plantation.
We'll still be slaves if they had taken that approach. Just keep your head down. We'll still be slaves.
But the way our people are reacting, it's almost like they are making it. They gonna look up and they running ready doing all this other crazy stuff. And these people are slowly trying to enslave. That's basically what they're trying to do.
Well,
and those they can't enslave, they're trying to mentally enslave. They're trying to. When people come defeated, like they don't care, they're not gonna do anything when it comes to us. And some people get tired out with the fight. That's what they're depending on. That's why so many people have to continue to keep fighting. Because they're waiting on us to get. They know we're not going for no enslavement again, but it can happen mentally. If that's what they're waiting for you to be defeated.
I think some of us are already.
Yeah, I think that's the case too. I think that's the case. I think that we have some people.
They see that is more effective.
That's why we do, and we treat each other the way we treat each other. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to say, and I don't want to offend anybody, you know, when I say this. But sometimes you can go into you can go into some business establishments, and you get mistreated by your own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, and the European Americans, that I call them European Americans, you know, they treat you courteously, respectfully. They have attitude, you know, they assist, and they do it with a smile. I've been in establishments where our very own got the attitude as if they're doing me a favor. Mm-hmm. I'm disturbing them from whatever it is that they're doing, you know, and they think, and then, you know, you witness them, you know, as I witnessed salespeople talking to, you know, the customer, which is a black customer, was so disrespectful, you know, just because that salesperson, that person, the customer, you know, demanded their attention, and they weren't ready to give it to them. I was standing there like, you got to like literally told him, you will have to wait now till I get through doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I was like, what? Oh man, these people are something else. But we always want and desire to be treated equally, but we don't even treat each other equally. You know, it's just we got to give an example of how we want to be treated. You know, always. It's not this person I treat correctly and this person I treat not correctly, but treat people correctly all the time, especially your own. For God's sakes, I mean, that person may have been having it rough the whole week until they ran into you, and all you did was put the icing on the cake, for even to end their week in the worst way. And it's their own people. Sometimes, you know, we can't even get gratification from our own people, and that's a shame. And that's a mental thing. That's truly mental, you know.
They get the feeling that they've been accepted by the establishment. And so you coming in is semi threat to that. So they gotta show themselves approved by the establishment continually to be accepted by the establishment. When you look at the demographic of Tuscaloosa, where is the new deal? How much of it came past 10th Avenue off 15th Street? How far down it go? It don't go past the new, well, it's old now, but fire station. You put up a fire station, you put up an O'Reilly, you tore down the elementary school, and you throwed up a park. That's as far as the new bill went. It's isolation. It did everything to isolate a certain part, a certain side of Tuscaloosa from West Tuscaloosa. And they continue to do it. The mayor did it. He's making sure it continues. Anybody who wanted to come down when they shut down one day, and you had Walmart looking at that area, you had Publix looking at that area, you had other industries looking at that area to build. What the mayor Maddox do? Told them no, because they want crime to stay high on that area, in that area on in West Tuscaloosa. They want the killings to maintain, because they want to re-gentrify West Tuscaloosa. They want it back, because that's where all of them came from.
Yeah, we can say that, and the evidence looks that way, because once again, why would you close down 2 precincts in 2 predominantly black neighborhoods?
Exactly.
You because you spent some money on a new police precinct, and now all of a sudden Tuscaloosa ain't big enough to have multiple precincts, but it is. You don't have enough police officers to patrol the predominantly black neighborhoods, which is the west side, or the east side for that matter. And you can close down precincts that you had in both places. But on that same token, like Lisa said, if you ask the mayor, it's not closed, but go over there and see, don't you got to yank vines off the side of the building.
Exactly.
They got police cars, I think, parked. Lisa, did you say they got police cars parked outside there?
Yeah, they had police cars parked out there, but try to
Ain't nobody in them. And they put police car places just to put them places sometimes.
Yeah, them driving cars. Decoy.
They've been doing that. Which to me is like, I guess it's a waste. Like I'm wondering, like, why do they do that?
It's a tactic to deter crime. You talking about for the dummy cars or the shutdown? I don't know about the shutdown part. I don't know, is it closed or what? I don't know what they call it. But it's just a tactic to to put the cars there. They're just like some of the state trooper cars be on the highway. In these zones, construction zones, all of them are not manned. It's just the idea or the concept that your ticket is double if you're in a particular area of that construction zone and you're speeding. And so sometimes it might be a real police officer, state trooper, and then sometimes it might not be nobody. So it's just a tactic that everybody try to use to try to prevent things from happening.
Does it work?
It works.
No, I don't care that.
It works. It works.
I want to know officially, did they consider it working?
It works until you see the same car, same thing going on, nobody getting pulled over. So it's like that. But I think you had to do exactly like the state troopers do. That is, put the same car, same location, manned, and then pull somebody over. Or, if some people violating, and then they can say, "Oh, you don't know if it." In other words, if you know the police, I tell you what. If a state trooper is, no, even in the city, if you're going down Greensboro Avenue and you go on your speed limit of 35, 45, whatever the speed limit on Greensboro Avenue is, and a police car in front of you doing 25, and you're going 35, which is the speed limit, but everybody slow up, don't that just discourage you? I cannot stand it because, okay, he's going below the speed limit. Who said you can't go faster than him? if the speed limit is 35 and he's going 25. But everybody got in their mind, or if I pull, I pass and he might gonna pull me over. But you know you're doing the speed limit.
I pass him anyway.
You know you're doing the speed limit. But that's just a mentality of some people won't pass it, some won't.
Yeah, some people, you absolutely right. Yeah, you behind them, you just look at your speed on and you be like, "Damn, why you just passing? What's wrong with you?" But with that being said, you got people that as soon as they see a police officer, their hands automatically go to 10 and 2. And you don't never drive with your hand on 10 and 2. Yeah. Your head be straight up. You don't even smile no more. You turn the radio down.
Hey, your neck get locked in.
But before we move on, is Tina still on the line, Mike?
Hey, look at both the mirrors, making sure them lights don't cut on. You on your first road test with that instructor.
Mike, is Tina still on the line?
Tina, you still with us?
I don't think so.
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay.
Okay.
I'm still, it's like I never visited New York. That's one of the major states I've never been to. I've been to Florida, California, Detroit, Chicago, Texas, Mississippi. I went to a lot of major cities. Utah, Colorado, Las Vegas, Nevada. But I've never been to never been to New York. And
I've never been there either.
and I'm just curious of how this massacre is really affecting that community. I mean, I'm hearing you saying the president and visited, the governors and the mayors all gathering to not make sound like they're not making excuses for this young man's actions.
No, not at all. And it has a huge effect on the community. And the other part is this. If these people, or our people, or this community, we're going to show out at the end of this time. I just point blank what it is. We're going to show out. And also, like now, the councilmen are running for office.
Mm.
Also, the next, mayor election, we know that our current mayor, Bobby Brown, probably won't run again, but I know the details of it will be. So I've even spoke to him on the sideline. So it's like, y'all gonna give us what we want, or then guess what? We're not gonna vote you back in. Because the community, those of us that works in the community have a lot of influence when it comes to voting. Because we're going to be the ones that's going to get you a team out there to get your petition signed. We're going to be the ones that's going to get people out there to walk the community for you and talk about how great you are. So, and with my experience of running for, office in here, is people going to listen if they feel like you are a reliable person.
Is mental health actually playing a role in these mass shootings, y'all, or is it just pure low down hate?
Could be, could not be, but I'm gonna say low down and hateful because when I looked at in the meeting today, when I looked at everything that they presented to us, the man video looked like he was like a video game. He was live on Twitch, recording
Now
what
that
he was doing.
I haven't seen it.
He can't claim
There's a such thing as mental illness, and there's a such thing as evilness. And that's what that was.
Straight up with no chaser. So, we can, his cousin came up and says, he had COVID a couple weeks ago because he could have COVID brain. Lady, lay down.
No,
he started playing this.
Oh my God.
He started planning this in January. So he didn't have COVID when he was talking about shooting up his school last year. He didn't have COVID then.
Okay, they find excuses. Well, people try to find excuses for the white people that are doing these mass shootings. But once again, if there's a shooting involving black youth, they just monsters, and it don't even come to play mental health. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh no.
But I really believe in my heart, and we're gonna get some for this. I really do.
Here's my thing though, and I'm hearing you saying that y'all community has came together, um, due to the magnitude of death and how the media placed it as being, um, a more important story. But right here in Tuscaloosa, now that was a white gentleman that killed 10 people. But right here in Tuscaloosa, we got a 3-year-old that was wounded by our own flesh and black on black. I'll just put it that way, black on black crime. Mm-hmm. Why are we not in an uproar when this situation take place? I'm willing to take this show another 30 minutes because this is what I'm saying. If we gonna get in an uproar about a white man shooting and killing 10 black people, we must get in an uproar when black people is killing black people also.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I do think there's a slight uproar. It ain't. I think Lala said it best last week when she heard about the 5 people in Hayes Court. We starting to get kind of desensitized to it because that's like the third 3-year-old that they got shot in Tuscaloosa, right? In the last year.
Well, yep. But here's what happened. That took place in Hay Court, a Tuscaloosa Housing Authority development, and it didn't died down. It's like, okay, they made an arrest, and okay, now we can go back. Well, now the shooting left
But the
Hay Court.
people is not making an uproar about it.
Yes,
they accepted it.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying.
I said it before when I said I think a lot of times black folks are too busy being poor. We got to get back to work. And then when you get to work, we don't even think about how traumatizing it is. It's just like trauma. We're not allowed to be traumatized. Something can happen in our community. We show up to work the next day and do our job. We expected to suck it up.
Yeah, they say get over it.
Get over it. But let 5 people north of the river get shot and have Tuscaloosa would have shut down. It would have been a day or more.
Counseling and everything.
Counseling and everything. So I think that, I know me personally, I started exercising self-care. I have to protect my mental health. When George Floyd was killed, I watched that video. I will say I watched that video at least 30 times. And it just did something to me. I can remember my supervisor at that time we were working from home because we were sheltered in place. She said, "What are you doing? What's going on?" Well, she said, "What's going on? Are you working?" And I asked her like back to back, "You don't know what's going on? You don't know what's going on. Did you watch the video?" And she was like, "Excuse me." I said, "Did you watch the video? Do you think I'm just supposed to sit here and pretend like I didn't just watch? Like America did not watch somebody be having a life choked out of them. I mean, it was a slow death, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm not normal right now." And she was like, "Well, I'll call you back." But I was so upset because the nerve of you, had there been a white woman, imagine it had been a white woman.
Lisa, they love to switch and say, imagine it had it been us killed someone black. I be like, really? Are you really saying this? Are you really saying
the time, I mean, like we seen pictures of black men that hanging from trees. I mean, I don't even know where that can even come from. I'm like, would you miss that in history? So
if the governor have her way, they will.
yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story. Don't even get me started on that.
I'm telling y'all, there's so many topics we got. This community.
We so busy being poor, we don't even think that I need to take off. I mean, this is traumatizing to me. I need to talk to somebody. Um, 5 people got shot, and I think all of us went about our next day as if nothing happened in our community. Mm-hmm. That's how we've been conditioned in this country, in our society to respond to trauma in the black community. Well, you got to get back to work, you know. Mm-hmm. But if it happens, I mean, how many Asians were attacked? Was it 2? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think it was 2.
The whole world shut down. Mm-hmm. I mean, somebody, I got a call. You need to, y'all need to make a statement against Asian hate. I absolutely refuse to. I don't want anybody hurt, but I want equal treatment for my people. I mean, like we've been trying to get a hate bill, an anti-hate bill passed. We can't get it, but I think that's because of the way we react. If the next time something traumatizing happens, and we say, and every black person say, I'm not working today. I'm traumatized. We have a call in, what they call a call in.
Blue flu.
I guarantee you we'll get somebody's attention. But it's gonna be those few that be like, I better go on to work.
Mm-hmm. But you know, we there's still a narrative that we're lazy. But I bet you had that call in. Where they at? Where's so and so? Where's so and so? But we're lazy. But I bet you they missed.
Figure out what happened. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
As if they don't watch the news. It's almost like watching a car accident. We get shot is like somebody watching a car accident.
It's big talk, especially if you one of the first people to know about it. You want to be the first one to, man, did you see this? Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this? And then after everybody that heard about it, the talk then went away. Now it's to the next big story real fast. So it's a guy that run around right now who almost makes their every last shooting before the police do. I ain't gonna say his name, but he always going live before the police get there. And that's the only thing he does. So
well, I think we gonna have to get to the point where it's okay to say, I'm traumatized. What I saw was not normal. I don't agree with it. I'm scared. I tell folks all the time, I see my therapist every week. And we go to full session. I got just that much to talk about.
I think that a lot of people need a therapist of some sort. And majority of our people don't believe in therapy. They feel like if you go to a therapist, you're crazy. The extent of what they will do is they'll go to a pastor. And sometimes, and we had pastors on here that said that sometimes it's more than what we can do to help you. Therapists are here for a reason. So sometimes you do have to go to that person that help you professionally, but they won't go to them. They'll go to a counselor or a pastor real quick. They're not really a counselor either. They'll go to a pastor real quick.
Well, I participated in work today. I participated in a DEI workshop. And one of my takeaways was a lot of our reactions are influenced by what we think other people are going to think of us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, do I do that? I just happen to be one of those people. I just can't let what somebody else thinks define what I'm going to do. But I'm the one that's always labeled the crazy one, because I've learned over time I can't be concerned about what you think or how you categorize me or what you're going to say about me. I just can't.
You know what?
You can't never get anything done worrying about what everybody else thinking.
Exactly. And what they think of us is that we're savages. We're not quite human. We're not 100% human. We're not equal. So when our people do commit crimes and do things like that, they don't care. They feel like, oh, they're helping us out. And that's that's what they feel about us anyway. So then when we turn around and say, well, we need therapy, we actually have to be careful of the therapists we choose, the therapists we pick, the psychologists, the psychiatrists we pick, because they have preconceived notions of us as well. You have to make sure that you're going to someone who is honest with their own feelings as well. I've seen therapists, I've seen other people who don't look like us say, hey, I had to be honest with myself. I did not want to grow up the way my parents raised me to be. The seeds that we talk about that was planted in the person's head. Like they have openly admitted, hey, I'm being a therapist. I have to be open to the fact that everybody is a human. Everybody deserves empathy. Everybody deserves to be heard. Everybody needs help. Everybody has mental issues. They call us crazy, dumb, and savages. And they thought our slaves back then. They think the same way that their ancestors thought. So when things happen like a black person commits a mass shooting, be away with them. They're savages anyway. They're this anyway. But when they do it, oh, they need mental help. And I think those thoughts are in some of these black people's heads today that they're not going to help us anyway. They don't think we need it anyway. They don't think we have mental issues. They think we just here. They think we just are here, feeling less, like emotionless. They don't think that we have those. You see the way they treated Serena Williams when she had her daughter? You talk about black mothers when they're having their children. Oh, they can withstand more pain. That's the one thing they teach us in nursing school. Never, pain is subjective. Never think you know how much pain a person feels. But they treated even the richest of us like that. So money didn't even excuse the way they feel about people. And that's just what they feel about us, that we're inhumane. We don't have feelings. We're dumb. They can't have mental health issues because they're too dumb. That's basically how they feel.
That's a whole movement behind the way African Americans, particularly African American women, are treated by the healthcare industry. And that just kind of, I think it kind of like got pushed aside with COVID.
Because it was being talked about more.
It was. And
like
I experienced it myself. When I had my surgery back in November. I had a nurse to go in and change my pain medicine after, which was set when I did my pre surgery meeting, and they could not administer the medicine until it was approved by my doctor, not knowing that my doctor was not going to be there because he was going to have surgery. He postponed his surgery to perform my surgery. And I begged. I was to the point that I was begging. Like, get somebody in here. I was shaking. I felt like I was going into shock. And the nurse that stood there looking at me like I was nothing. And
they feel like we don't feel, we don't have feelings.
Look, did not tell anyone that she had changed my pain medicine until my cousin showed up and got hospital administration in, and they came in and looked in the system, and they were like, well, what happened? And they were like, well, somebody went here and changed your pain meds. Like, how is that even possible? But I'm sitting there post out.
And why change it? Why change it? Why change it? There would be no reason if your doctor didn't order to change. Nursing orders, physicians' orders come from physicians and nurse practitioners. So if that was a nurse, why would she change it?
A nurse. It was a nurse.
I don't even understand how she changed it because nurses don't do prescriptions.
They asked, and that's the reason why it couldn't get filled until without a doctor.
Right.
I don't know what she had done in the past or what she had got away with in the past, but the whole idea of somebody post op with no pain meds is crazy to me.
Wow.
That's crazy to me. And when somebody finally got in there, you know what I said was, I want you to know at this moment the way I'm being treated is inhumane.
Listen, that's how they feel. That's what they feel. That's what they feel. They feel that we're savages, they're emotionless. They're black people. Just like I said, this white guy goes and shoots up a grocery store. First thing they start to do is direct it toward mental health. It's not even gun laws this time, mental health. But when black people do things, even down to the children, give them some medicine, they're inhumane anyway. That is the thought. And you can't tell me that's not what you're thinking. When you talk to them, how do you know you can't speak? Yes, I can because your actions speak louder than your words.
Mm-hmm.
Actions speak louder than your words.
As far as that medicine stuff goes, the first thing they're gonna do is they think that we all strung out on all drugs anyway. And if we are strung out on opioids or whatever, it's not an excuse. But if that young man up in New York, if they had said he was addicted to oxycodone or whatever, they would try to use that as an excuse, I think.
Right.
And
They would anything is an excuse for them. You see what his cousin or his aunt
They
did.
you know, that's, but you know, it's not surprising that they're gonna try to think of something. But I want to ask a question because Lala, you had said about they're too busy being poor, and you kind of brought some because I noticed that a lot in the South, since I've been back in Alabama, a lot of people afraid to take a day off of work. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, they self care. They are afraid. They got the yes or master mentality. You know what I'm saying? And it's like they won't take a day off of work.
Unless
For,
they're sick.
and they got to be doggone dead then.
They give you 10,000 excuses why they can't.
You know what I'm saying? And then I think about and like it's weird to me. It's really weird because um, mental health, they need counseling. We need to let our community know that it's okay to get counseling. It's okay if you need to go talk to someone, especially our men.
You know, and I wanted to have social workers on the program tonight because I see social workers play a valid role in preventing sometimes crimes from happening. And they saying, okay, how can a social worker prevent? Because there's no one to vent to. You know, Veronica, a nurse, she probably listened to people. I listen to people. Teachers listen to children. Tina, you talk to people in the community. Lala, you in the community. But we're not trained. We're all not trained professionals to give the correct answer. Even pastors, some of them are not trained to give the correct answer. But the social workers, I see social workers are more needed throughout our communities, at the housing authority.
Here, some go out on calls. When it's a mental health call, they go out on the calls with the police.
We need them with the police. We need them with the fire. We need them in the schools. We need them at the housing project. We need them.
Yeah.
We need social workers now like we need police everywhere. That's my suggestion.
Today, this morning, I was talking to a young lady that's been having some issues and trying to get it rectified. And she said, right now, I'm at the point where I feel like if I walk up in um, the office and blow my brains out, then maybe then some attention will be brought to this issue. And I had to tell her, and she was crying. And I said, I'm gonna need for you not to say that. I'm gonna need for you not to say that. But she's crying out for help.
Mm.
So I spent the first half of my day like this lady. We're gonna have to help her. Like, we need a meeting over here with these people. We need a meeting over here with these people. You can't, and she's trying to do it by herself and keep having doors shut in her face. And everybody know how our justice system is in Tuscaloosa.
Mm.
Um,
I
she keep hitting a stone wall, and she's at the point now where she feel like she's giving up. I'm telling her your problem will be rectified, but she's like, I can't keep doing this every day, and I feel her. But everything is so the way things are in Tuscaloosa, everybody know everybody. Um,
Right,
cases
right.
are handled on the golf course or over dinner. And when you get to court, you might have a court-appointed attorney, but they done already made a deal with the DA. And it's criminal is what they doing. It's criminal. But that's just the way Tuscaloosa works.
I don't think it's just
And
Tuscaloosa.
like Tina, what you said about people not be wanting to take the days off down here, it's a way that I think a lot of us are raised. Like, you go to work, you do the best job you can do, but you also feel like when you take them days off, you lose traction and ground at your job because somebody come and overtake you.
But that's how come they got it. Is what they got it like that for the people to think like that. You see what I'm saying? That's control. And I thought about it because, like, I remember when my father passed, my cousins wanted me to change the date of the funeral because they didn't want to take off from work. But you done been at this job 30 years. You mean to tell me this one day gonna hurt? You know what I'm saying, though? So, but it's a part of control, and it's the mindset that they got everybody thinking. They play with their head. If you take off today, you won't have a job tomorrow. That's control, and I know that Alabama lacks a lot of resources for people because Alabama do nothing for their people. Here in New York State, it's all kind of help. So I understand that. I get it. But somewhere in this thing, it's got to make sense. Because, like she said about the young lady, this lady needs some help. Where can she go? You just spent your half of your day trying to, at least get her to some calmness. So what can we do for her? What are the resources for this lady, for whatever the issue may be, that she can get some help? Because she probably could go down there and blow her brains out with no hesitation because this generation is much weaker.
Well, y'all, did you see the young lady that went to Southern that they found that said check on your strong friends too? Just a couple of weeks ago, and our class, I think none of y'all know Sophia Carvin made it moved her so much that she said she just went into tears and she had to come on Facebook and make a video about it. Just because people are even smiling, y'all, whether they smile, sometimes you gotta smile to keep them crying.
Yeah, exactly.
The young lady said,
and I believe we all been here.
Yep, she said check. She left a letter a post I think on Instagram, and it read check on your strong friends too. This was a college age cheerleader in Mississippi. They found it in the Mississippi River. They've been somewhere over there in Mississippi, and this was recent. Well, and what she said was just like, that made me feel like she felt like, I don't know, but I just feel like maybe she thought there was no other way out or nobody cares. She said, check on your strong friends too.
Back to what Tina was saying, Veronica. When I get overwhelmed at work, and I don't sit up and work harder no more. I get up and come home. and rest my nerve. I can't be stressed out at home worrying about a job that before, if I were to die today before my family bury me, they'll have my job reposted.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
And that was told to me by someone where I became so upset at work. I felt lightheaded and my nose started bleeding, so I went up and went to a faculty staff clinic. And the next thing I know, they were telling me we're gonna have to send you over to the hospital because your blood pressure that's shot up. And the nurse practitioner came in there. She said, Lisa, I'm gonna tell you one thing. She said, what the UA has taught me. She said, you better take care of yourself. She said one of her good friends passed. And before they could put her in the ground, her job was already posted.
This is the same day she collapsed.
So, you know, I've learned the hard way, get up and go home. You know, I asked, you know, when we had those snow days, they said, if you're a non-essential personnel, I'm non-essential. That means they can do without me. So they don't get that out of me anymore. And that right there has like helped me out tremendously.
Yeah, I agree with you too because with what I do and deal with on the constant, I had to learn how to, like you say, take that self care because I broke one time when a grandmother killed the baby. Okay, when I got to the house, she was holding the baby up to the sky with blood dripping between her fingers. She done stabbed this baby so many times. And when I got to the house and she's standing there, I broke. You know, I felt like I was gonna lose my mind. You know what I'm saying? So I started gagging, throwing up the whole nine because you could feel the evil. The house smelled like nothing but dead folks. There was five people in the house, and this mother got up and stabbed this baby all these many times. Nobody stopped her. And come to find out, I know why did nobody stop because everybody was in the high on heroin. Everybody. So I know what you're saying because see, me, I love what I do because you know people are my passion. So I start taking some of these cases a little personal, you know. So when you said take that time, I had to learn now. And sometimes I still forget now. I had to learn how to say, okay, Tina, now what's up? Because you walking all night, you ain't sleeping because these cases wear you down so bad. And when you close your eyes, you're seeing this stuff all over and over and over. You know, it's hard when I have to go to a crime scene and I look over there and see that this is a mother of five children shot in the head with her two babies in the car and them babies running around in circles. That tears me up. You know, whereas some people it's just a job.
I can imagine. Well, actually, I cannot imagine having to pull up at a crime scene and seeing, you know, some of the stuff that you have seen, and you doing this multiple times, or sometimes multiple times a week.
Exactly.
And I think that you definitely have to have somebody to talk
Vent
to,
to,
of course, to
exactly.
get that stuff off your mind,
Right.
because I would not be able to sleep. Uh, Back in 2011, we had and Sean can tell you, we had a tornado here in Tuscaloosa.
Oh, I know.
And one thing that we were saying is we were working for the cable company, and we was walking through rubble and stuff. Was please don't let me walk up on the body.
Hmm.
Yep.
I mean, that's even when we do searches. We found parts of the boy all over in these projects. And one person left an arm on the grandma's porch. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. You have to have, but at the same time, like Lala was saying, you got to be careful who you talk to. You got to be careful who you talk to.
People are adult, not just certified. Anybody can be certified and well trained in their job, but are they people for you? It's like there are 40 letters in the alphabet. R is one of them, and you just have to remember to remove yourself, regroup, resolve, release, refresh, and renew.
All of that.
As a nurse, we get a lot of acronyms. Remove yourself, regroup, resolve, release, refresh, and renew.
And even when I send families for counseling, like I was saying about the mother and the five kids, and the kids needed counseling, her sister needed counseling because she ended up with the kids. But when they went to the council was more interested in what the case than helping the family. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying now? So she wanted to know more details. It's like
but too nosy, too invested.
too nosy. That's the thing. You got to have that discernment when you with these people. Like the girl killed the boy. It's been a year now, and because he was beating her, she stabbed him. She going to counsel. The counsel want to know all the details about the case. Another situation, and I had to report this lady. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of us. You know, one of us.
Yeah.
But I still had to report her because this is a young girl that's 21. You know what I'm saying? So now she don't have no faith in talking to nobody because you really want to know details how the boy, how I killed him.
Well, you know that's sad because like I know someone that's young, their child needed counseling, and I told them, you take your child out of Tuscaloosa. Don't use a counselor in Tuscaloosa because I've overheard too much of other people's business, and it's unethical and illegal for them to do. But there should be a level of professionalism there and a line that you don't cross. But there's a lot of talk that go on in Tuscaloosa,
and that's why people don't. That's why some people. It's not that they don't believe in counseling or they think that they will be labeled weak. We've been trained to do that, but we've gotten away from that, and people are now starting to seek more counseling. It's just that they know if they seek it, they have to get away from their area. That's just like some of their health care. So many people work in the facilities that they know they don't want to have access to their files. Some people will travel to go for their health care. People will have to travel to go to their mental health care, but instead of doing that, they just tend not to get it. And it's not because they don't want it or don't believe in it. This town, like a lot of small towns, people are unprofessional. They talk too much. And you cannot prove that that person that worked there spilled your beans. You'll know. You know who did it. But by the time it gets all over town, you can't even bring them up before violations of HIPAA. Because how are you really going to prove that they did it? You just say, well, I know they worked there. So you're going to have more proof than that. And it's sad, but that's why a lot of people don't get the mental help that they need because they know how this town is. They believe in it, but they know the area that they live in. And due to Magic Johnson, we have HIPAA violations. That janitor that worked there that exposed his medical information back in the early 90s. That's how we came about the HIPAA violation. But at the same time, a lot of times it's hard to prove that, and it might not be your enemy. Some people just talk too much. They can't hold water in a bucket.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. I overheard information about someone, and the person didn't even know that I knew that person. And they talking all freely about his personal medical, and I'm like, wow.
Because you don't know who know who.
You never know who know who. And there are certain things that a person might reveal to their counselor that an overzealous person might take it and run with it. So you have to be very careful with who you divulge your information to. For peace, and sometimes it's not even a lack of professionalism. They just dirt. They just dirt.
That's why when we see some people who say, I don't care what folks think of me, they really mean that. And sometimes you have to put on that armor to say you don't care. Because if you do, they're going to talk about you anyway, whether they know something about you. So say something happens to get out, you have to put it on that you don't care because you know what, you probably will be dealing with them anyway. But sometimes people will not get help because, like you said, Lisa, a lot of times it's throw our professionalism out the window. It's been past that. It's just evil. Low down, want to talk, want to spill the beans, want to talk about somebody's personal business. Too personally invested in something that they don't have a reason to be invested in. And something
I tell a lot of young ladies, your friend ain't their friend, or their friend ain't your friend. You know, because they be so hurt. Right. They be so hurt that they done told their friend. But that wasn't your friend, that was their friend. Right. People have to kind of like remember. Because
my thing is sometimes you can have a best friend, and they can be your best friend, but sometimes your best friend has another best friend. And y'all
ain't
may
your
not
friend.
click.
That
And
ain't
even
your
if y'all,
friend.
and even if you click, you may not want her to know. If you wanted her to know, you would divulge it to her. Some things you divulge what you want to know. There's some things I told my mother that I wouldn't tell my sister. There were some things I told my sister that I wouldn't tell my mother. So think about this as someone you think is your friend. Just because those are your friends, they're not my friends. Because a lot of times, especially in Tuscaloosa, people are friends with you for a reason. If y'all didn't grow up together, no, people change. So you can have your oldest friends that turn on you. But I'm saying, if y'all didn't grow up together and just know each other, sometimes all these newfound friends from, we're not boys and figures now, newfound friends from 10, 15 years ago, they're your friends because there was something you offered them that they enjoyed and liked, and they don't want to do without it. Some people are your friends because you didn't even maybe think you were buying them, but you bought them. Something about you bought them. And that's why they don't want to release.
Waiting on the front row seat to your demise. They want to be with you.
And that in and out friendship kind of stuff, I can't do that. If I won't hate you, but I would not. If you do something that really crossed me, I can say, hey, how you doing? If you need bread, I give it to you. But all of that, your circle should be a dot. Honest. There should be so many people you can trust with certain information, but if it's something you don't want told to nobody, then your circle should be a dot. Because people cannot, for some reason, you cannot, you don't have that true, you can't, you can't.
Loyalty has been gone.
Loyalty is gone, right. And then confidence, you can't confide in people like you used to. And so like I said to you, you have to be careful of the professionals, quote unquote, even the professionals who've taken oaths, who knows it's unethical, immoral, and illegal a lot of times. You have to still be careful about who you talk to. And that's why so many of us won't get that type of treatment. Not because we don't believe in it. You can't trust people.
And that everybody can't afford to travel.
And exactly, so you don't get it.
I understand. Now, Lala, the lady that you say you talked to, did she live in one of the housing projects or?
No.
Okay.
No, she has an issue with her son, and she just in her wits end.
Okay. Now, where's the groups that can assist this mother with this son? You see what I'm saying? Like, where are them people at that can help her and, and take this young man under their wing?
Well, he's already, he's had some run-ins, and she's just desperately trying to help her son, and instead of people helping her, it seems like people are attacking her. And so, we're gonna get it worked out.
Yeah. And if I can assist in any way, please feel free to reach out.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, please feel free. Because see, this is the thing. Everybody want to judge. Everybody want to judge. And this is my secretary. And but we can't judge because we all got children and things happen, things take place, da 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 da. But this mother's crying out. So we need to be there to assist her in whatever the need may be if we can. So because, like we talk about Hay Court and now, all these other areas got stuff going on. Hay Court could be a perfect model. To get in there and clean it up, it can be a perfect model for all the other areas. But I don't know, like tomorrow I'm going to a young lady's house and cuff her up and give her some scare because she cutting up. I got the call tonight in the midst of all this other stuff. But, somewhere in there we got to do something to get our young people or our children because he's her son, but he's our son too.
He's our son too.
Yeah, I said it earlier, man. We got to get back to that judge mentality that we had for a lot of the years. We got further and further away from it the more we came toward 20. But at one time, it was a village type mentality. Everybody you knew all the kids in the neighborhood. You knew who their parents was, and you had the right to to admonish them when they were doing something wrong. Then you would call them dad. I'm gonna tell your mom. I'm gonna tell your dad.
But they don't care about that now, because see, these kids nowadays run in the house.
Yep.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, being honest, look at the little white boy in Texas when they're beating on the people's door with the whip. The father goes to talk to his father. The boy's father pulls the gun.
Come out back in him. Yep, come back in the mess.
So, you know, we have to be careful with that as well. But, you know, this young man that this mother had, we need to wrap our arms around not just him, but her too.
I agree. And I'll get your number from there because you might be the person that she needs to talk to.
I can give you my number now. It ain't like it's no secret. Everybody got it. The number nationwide. It don't matter. It rings all day, all night. You hear it ringing now. But I can give it to you if you got a pen.
I do.
Okay, it's area code 716-816-8264.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be here until Tuesday.
I'll give you a call in the morning.
That'll be great. Okay, that'll be great.
Thank you for that.
No problem at all. Because the thing about it is, you know, we don't want her to feel like she don't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, she might not can go talk to her family. You know what I'm saying? Or they might say, "Girl, we tired of hearing that. We tired of him. You keep trying to do this and do that. You know, and that ain't what she needs right now. She needs some resolution, something to work out. Is it gonna be easy? No, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll all work out in the end, though, because it's a greater later. And I believe that when it comes to working with our youth and our young people, okay, this you calling me?
No, that's not me.
Okay, well, who was that? What was it?
You got
that was and tell Tina that was me. I was I was trying to save a number and so for resources and then I ended up hitting the number.
Okay, so let me put your name in.
Okay, yeah. I was trying to save a number for resources because that's what we don't have. We don't have. No, but see what she said, she didn't care, just because it was nationwide. So we don't have resources like people that deal with some of the issues that she deal with, even on a more elevated level than what's going on here. So we don't have that resource, and then when the resource is here, like you said, sometimes we can't even have that communication with our local people.
Right,
because you don't know how.
We'll work it out. Even if I have to be a part of my team here, we'll work it out.
Right. We can that's what we were talking about earlier. Collaborations. We got to talk together. And even if Tina says something that somebody else hasn't said, and that person, when it all comes together, it's got to be for a common cause. Look at how easily she said. She asked Lala, about the situation and offered her assistance. We can't just keep talking about what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Any bit of help works. Yeah. It's about networking.
Exactly. And the other part too is not about reinventing, it's all about greasing the wheel. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Because it's all about greasing the wheel because it got a little rusty. Just grease it a little bit. And nobody's coming in to take control or take over or none of that. It's just all about, like you said, we all come together, work together, collaboration, and resolve whatever the issue may be at hand.
Right. And you're not trying to put a whole lot of work on somebody. Sometimes you can just call somebody and ask them a question and you can get something handled. Exactly. Sometimes it's just a matter of asking a question, like Lala said earlier. No question is a dumb question.
No, it's not.
Would you rather have it answered or continue to wonder about it and go to sources that may not be adequate or correct?
But another thing, like I saw another situation with the mother, just to be able to call somebody. Right. It's a burden lifted. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because today might have been a bad day. Like she had that bad day. But look, Lala was right where she's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
That's
she was right where she's supposed to be.
Questioning her at times, saying, "Well, what is the NAACP doing?" Well, she just helped a young lady. And did you do that today? Did you do that today? She just made somebody feel like somebody's listening. Did you do that?
Right. I just wish we could get the message that need to be building our village. We need to be rebuilding our village. We need to make sure that when somebody say, I need help, that we're there front and center. That's right. That's right. You know how many times I get up out my bed? That's right. But you see how the phone ringing? That's it. And I got an event at Daryl's place in September. September 10th, matter of fact. Yeah, I'm bringing in a speaker from South Carolina. And she's empowerment, and I'm gonna have tickets are $30. But this girl is so powerful. I had her here in New York. But she's so powerful that you never leave how you came. September 10th. September 10th at New Kent Street.
See, that's what I like to do. When we start filling up our calendars with things that's going on, like you got the Stop the Violence rally coming up this week, you got the Juneteenth events that Lisa's offering, not just a one-time event. It goes on through days, and it offers you, about our culture, but it also gives you information on things that you need for, just that you need personally. Right. And then you've already got this on the calendar for September 10th. So that's what we need to be doing is just having somebody's going to touch somebody somewhere.
Right, and I'm also putting together a meeting of this March.
The 22nd of on Sunday, the 22nd this week.
Right, I was supposed to speak there. I was supposed to set up a table there, but I'm here. But yeah. But I also have a Million Women's March coming up next year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's I'm constantly got projects. I'm constantly got projects because the thing about it is the information needs to be put out there. And some of this march is about guns. It's about domestic violence. I work with a family here that the boy killed the girlfriend, his mama, and the baby. So all the time, the family knew the boy was beating on the girl, but she kept saying he wasn't. So the father's trying to get a law in where family members can make reports.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So because now domestic violence, they got to kill you for anything get done if you get done then. So it's a lot of things that this Million Women March is going to cover, and it's going to bring some dynamic people in.
That's good.
So, it's all about, like I just did a banquet in March here in New York that was for homicide families. So it's things that, and I think I had even asked Dara once about the families in Tuscaloosa, because I want to reach out to these families that have had these homicides and let them know that there's somebody do care about y'all.
Yeah.
You're not just going through.
I don't know if they have that down here right now. Personally, I just don't know. I do know that most time something happens after about 2 weeks. Most time about 2 weeks that no one even talking about it.
But they used to have something. I can't remember what they call it, but they used to have something for families like that, and I cannot remember what it's called. But sometimes when things like if people don't come or don't show up, then people will stop because sometimes for whatever reason people may not come when they've gone through those issues with those family situations. But they did have something because I cannot remember. I can remember, saying, "Oh, they got that," because I can remember being in my car on 15th Street up near the old Eastwood coming down, and I can remember, and I cannot think of the name of I cannot think of what they called it, but it was something about people who had been the family members and the victims of violence. And I cannot remember what it was, and I'm thinking because they don't do it anymore.
You know what the thing is, but when this homicide happened, you go reach out to that family and you be there to assist that family throughout that process. And even after the death, them 7 days, everybody forget about you then. You still be there so that family will have a resource to reach out to. Like when we came to Daryl's building one day when we was talking about stuff, and I asked the lady from the funeral home there, was she aware of the crime victims money? She said no. And you work for the funeral home?
She's not aware of the crimes victim, the money that you get.
That help here.
They're a victim of crime. What is it? Yes. Is it a victim? Yeah, right. There is money that's available for that.
And I said, they don't know about it, but you know why they don't know about it? Because their funeral home pressure them folks that they got to come up with their money because they don't want to wait on the state to send their money. That's why they don't know about it.
Mm.
I mean, let's keep it
But
real.
Alabama does have
They
that.
sure do. They give $7,000. Yes, ma'am. Because I did my research. Because this is what I do here. All them 10 people that got killed, I'm making sure everyone of them get buried. And the thing about it is, I don't even have to use crime victims with this. The NAACP is covering all the funerals. The city is covering all the flowers, the obituaries, blah, 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 blah.
Good.
You see what I'm saying? So, but even if it was just a regular homicide, I go through crime victims and get the monies to get their loved ones buried.
And a lot of people don't know that they have
don't
that.
know.
And then I cannot think of what it was, but it was like I don't know if how often they met, but they met regularly, and I don't know if I don't. It may just not be that I can't remember, but also sometimes when people don't get a lot of participation, when they don't. But I feel like sometimes we can have an organization that should just reach out regardless.
You should reach out anyway. I go to every homicide family house. I might not go that day, but because I give them breathing room. You know what I'm saying? To get what just happened. But the next day I'm there. If I'm not at the crime scene with them or at the hospital or whatever, that next day I'm there. And I'm helping them and I'm doing, if they need a house, because, like I done had people, the child got killed right in front of the door. The mother needed to move. So we help find housing. We help line us up because it's responding to the needs of the people. So whatever the need may be, if I need to sign the children that's left behind up for counseling, if I need to help her get her Medicaid for these kids she got to take care of, if I got to help her file for Social Security for the children left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they never walk this walk, they don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. And they're grieving.
They're grieving, and people take advantage of that. You should see how these people run around here taking advantage of these families. I'm telling you. That when I say they are doing what they do, that ain't on TV. It's some stuff going on. There's some stuff going on now.
Yeah, when people
And I don't been with the mayor, the senators, the president, everybody there. Okay. But that's when somebody got to come in and make sure that us got to be taken care of. Because now it's all about glouting and publicity and the TV's light, camera, and action now. That's what it's about now. That's what's going on now. It ain't really the care and concern for the families. That's what's going on now. So I had to get ugly in a meeting today. Oh, we're not gonna do this. No, we're not, because these are our folks. No, we're not doing this. These folks 80 years, the youngest person was 32.
Exactly. That's what we're saying. Like you go in there and you shoot people that were all old enough to be his parents and most his grandparents.
And one of the ladies
or great grandparents
was an activist in the community.
Right.
An activist.
Right.
Come on, y'all gonna act right with these. And I meant that in the meeting. I meant that. And I'm gonna walk every step with every family, like I've been doing. I'm walking every step. Don't talk to nobody if you can't get me on the phone or I ain't there. We all got that understanding.
85.
Because now they're playing with them. Yeah.
70-some-year-old activist.
Yeah.
Has helped pass and create legislation in civil rights and fought for civil rights.
Yes. And the other lady, she feeds the people in her community every weekend. She was there buying the food to feed them.
Deacon, the young man going to get his son's birthday cake. A deacon, 67 years old, the deacon?
Deacon Patterson, church right around the corner from the store, State Tabernacle. Andre was there getting the birthday stuff. His body slumped over on the counter because he was at the register paying for the birthday stuff. Paying for the birthday stuff.
I don't know. For some reason, I feel like that young man knew he targeted them. Somebody was not them. He targeted the location.
Mm-hmm.
He targeted the location. That's a predominant black area. You might catch a white person in there. You might, other than the workers.
Because two were white, or was the one?
Two of the workers
Like
was
she was
white.
mixed to me.
She was
made me.
She
That's
was
what I
mixed.
thought. She looked
And
mixed.
the man that was on the floor, he said, "Oh, sorry." The white guy that was mad, but he killed. He shot the black woman. He seen that he's like, "Oh, sorry," but he went right over there and killed the lady. Yeah, I had to sit there and watch the whole video today, over and over and over. Eyes swollen because you're crying so hard because you see these folks running for their life. Some of them so old they couldn't run.
I was about to say the age of them.
They couldn't run.
And then he was at the register. He probably didn't even know. He didn't
even have a chance. He didn't have a chance. Come on, no. And y'all think y'all gonna handle these families? Not on my watch. And I meant that today. And I didn't care who all was at the table. That's the least you can do for these folks, is do right by them. Yeah. I mean, it's awful. And when I said the scene it was a scene that you will never forget. You will never forget it.
What's awful is that the book he's read, like I told him earlier, has been being passed around Congress since just before January 6th. These congressmen are reading this same material because they are supremacists as well. And they are not even ashamed to show
on the ground. And they found 80 cases inside. We ain't talking about outside now. That's inside. And when we talk about Deacon Patterson putting the groceries in the car, he saw the girl, the 32-year-old girl that came to the store to get the food because her brother got cancer. That was her in the parking lot. He shot her first and then Deacon. And all Deke do is come up there and take people back and forth to the store that don't have a car. That's all he do. He don't charge them nothing. Yeah. Yeah, it's awful. It's awful.
Premeditated. You put it on social media. Don't even talk about it. And you want to talk about mental health awareness with him?
Nowhere.
Evilness.
And they were so hot they arraigned him the same night. The same night called Judge Hannah in, and Judge Hannah arraigned him that night. And Judge Hannah was out there in the street. They put that little plastic suit on him and arraigned him. Barefooted and all.
Well, hey, y'all, it's been a great conversation. We can continue on Thursday with this conversation. Well, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, what is today?
Yeah, we knocked it on 7 minutes till 11.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 12 here.
Yeah, it's a great conversation. We can take it up on Thursday. I'm gonna try to
y'all have a good night.
I'm gonna try
and
to
I look to hear from you, ladies.
Okay.
And this is what's needed. It's late, y'all. Sometimes we just gotta be late.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because we just gotta do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But y'all have a good night and be safe.
Y'all as well.
Thank you so much, Tina. Thank you, Lala.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Jesse, I don't know if you're still on the line or not. Kai.
Yeah, I'm here.
I appreciate everybody for calling in tonight and your comments. We'll see y'all here on Thursday, 8 p.m. We'll be, Daryl, am I saying that we're going to be part 2 of this or?
Yeah, we'll, whatever, we talk about a variety of things, but, sometimes we have a direct thing that we like to lead off with and go from there. So we'll just try part 2. Some people had comments that probably didn't get a chance to call in or want to call in. graduation was going on tonight. And once again, I want to say congratulations to all the city of Tuscaloosa and county school system graduates. I'm not just going to name any particular school. So all the school system graduates, congratulations, class of 2022. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations.
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 All right, and I'll talk to y'all on Thursday.
All right, good night.
Y'all have a good night. Y'all
All right.
be safe.
Yeah, have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
Hello? Hey, Rick. I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother?
I went down to Thomas Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie, and I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh, all I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.